So at this point, when we're thinking about all these beautiful things that will occur, let's enjoy the final video of our convention. It highlights the blessings of the 1,000-year reign and beyond. And also, we're going to listen to the original song that we'll sing at the conclusion of our program.
Like an island of calm in dark, stormy seas, God's people are living in peace. With our eyes of faith, we see beyond the clouds and know that the storm soon will cease. To the ends of the earth there'll be peace at last for all eternity. From the valleys below to the mountain tops, all creation will see peace at last. When the new world is here, all will be one, on earth and in heaven above. And the peace we'll know we've never known before, a world ruled by justice and love. To the ends of the earth there'll be peace at last for all eternity. From the valleys below to the mountain tops, all creation will see peace at last. To the ends of the earth there'll be peace at last for all eternity. From the valleys below to the mountain tops, all creation will see. To the ends of the earth there'll be peace at last for all eternity. From the valleys below to the mountain tops, all creation will see peace at last. Peace at
What a beautiful song, and what beautiful images to encourage us.
So there we have it. That's it. That's the grand finale to the 2022 Pursue Peace Convention. And it seems that due to an administrative glitch, yours truly has somehow found his way into paradise. He's found himself, or I found myself, in all sorts of unpleasant situations. But when Armageddon strikes, somehow I'm able to join Jehovah's Witness Armageddon survivors in fleeing Armageddon into paradise. Maybe if Tibor is gracious, we can take another look at that footage of Jehovah's Witnesses walking through a field as Armageddon rages in the background, Just to be absolutely clear, Tibor and I added the footage you saw previously of fireballs and the guy trapped under the rubble just to drive home what's really supposed to be happening. But as for the line of people fleeing Armageddon, this is actually a familiar image to generations of Jehovah's Witnesses, because all you need to do is Google Jehovah Armageddon and you'll get no end of disturbing imagery showing Armageddon, but quite a few images show this specific scene of a line of Jehovah's Witnesses walking away from Armageddon, which, if you think about it, doesn't really make any sense. It implies that while Armageddon is unfolding, there will be fields to flee to. Surely the whole point of a global slaughter of non-Jehovah's Witnesses is that you could literally be stood next to a non-Jehovah's Witness as a Jehovah's Witness, and they'll die, but you won't. So, yes, there may be all the lightning. Yes, there may be all the earthquakes and buildings collapsing and all of the typical Armageddon imagery, grim, morbid, terrifying Armageddon imagery that Jehovah's Witnesses have been subjected to over the decades. But technically, it shouldn't matter where you are on the planet. If you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you should be able to stand still and see Jehovah's salvation. It shouldn't matter where you are. You should, again, be able to be in the same room as someone who gets slaughtered. Maybe it's a precision fireball that cuts through the ceiling at precisely their location, leaving you completely unharmed. I don't understand why you would have a line of Jehovah's Witnesses walking away from Armageddon, and why does Armageddon need to last so long? Why does it take so long for an all-powerful God, for Jesus or Kenny Rogers, whoever it is, riding around on heavenly horses with the 144,000? Why does it take them so long to do the carnage? Didn't we have that imagery in the Hezekiah drama of the angel taking out 180,000 plus Assyrians just like that? So why does it take so long, and how are there fields to flee to? So anyway, there's no use trying to make sense of nonsense, is there? It should just be plainly obvious to at least those with critical thinking that none of this makes any sense. There were just a couple of other scenes I wanted to draw your attention to, because there's quite a lot here to unpick. Again, the more you subject this to scrutiny, the more it unravels. So you see the scene where they are tidying up after Armageddon. They've got their gloves on, they've got their shovels, and they're removing bricks and bits of debris, which probably have bits of humans on them. Blood-stained bricks that have been left over once the birds are done feasting on the remains of those slaughtered. And in one scene, maybe Tibor will need to enlarge it slightly, but just to the left, you have the birds flying over. Presumably, they're just finishing off their last Armageddon victim, or on their way to finish off their last Armageddon victim. But you see just in the bottom left some wolves and I think a sheep or a lamb. And I think that's supposed to be a nudge to Stephen Lett's absurd lamb chops remarks right at the beginning of the convention, where he reminded Jehovah's Witnesses that there will be no more carnivores, that the wolf and the lamb will literally be able to reside together in peace. No more sharks feasting on seals, no more lions chasing down gazelle, snakes will find an alternative use for their venom. It's all going to happen in the future. And another scene I want to show you is the image where the two sisters are hugging, and there's a palm tree in the background, and there's what looks like a beautiful villa and various yachts in the background. You have the obligatory fruit table, which it looks like a monkey is helping himself to. But it's all looking very neat and orderly, isn't it? And frankly, it's a million miles away from what Jehovah's Witnesses should really expect, which is, again, a revisiting of the Dark Ages with no modern infrastructure, no electricity, no water treatment or sewage. Everyone's basically just in Bear Grylls survival mode. Because, where is all of this prosperity supposed to come from? Where are people getting their yachts from? Where do people have time to build yachts if they're just having to survive day to day with no creature comforts and none of the things that we've come to take for granted in the modern age? Another thing I want to show you is the scene where you have the young woman lying down in the forest underneath a leopard. I think I know who might be responsible when it comes to influencing the makers of this video to include this particular scene.
Our hardworking art department has helped us a lot. Notice this beautiful piece of artwork found in the Pure Worship book. Now you have to, with the larger one on a television screen, you see it easier. Sometimes you look at this picture, you have the fireflies there going around, full moon, it's beautiful. But with the larger picture, you're not going to miss what so many could miss by not focusing on the beautiful picture here and the details in it. Because up above her now, you'll see our sleeping securely young sister here. And the tree's right above her head, but do you see what's right up above there? If you look carefully, there it is, a leopard. And it could be missed so easily, especially in the book we have. And you got to see his left arm's hanging there, male or female, don't know for sure, but it's a leopard. And he's sleeping. She's sleeping. You could just hear some of the sounds of other insects that might be in the forest here. Secure.
Tony Morris there talking us through the details of a picture of a girl sleeping in the forest underneath a leopard. This particular picture, it seems, is a picture that Tony Morris is quite fond of. And it wouldn't surprise me if the inclusion of the imagery in the final music video of the 2022 convention was maybe his doing. I can't prove it, but it really wouldn't surprise me if he weighed in there and urged that scene to be included. But one more scene I want to go over with you again. You have this imagery of the heavens, the 144,000, including Tony Morris, including Stephen Lett, David Splain, Samuel Hurd, Mark Sanderson. These are, after all, the cream of the crop. If you could take from history the 144,000 most wise, most devout Christians of all time, these would be among them. So they're ruling in heaven, and I'm assuming the person sat on the throne in the foreground is Jesus. Is it me, or does that image, I mean, I know I'm a Star Wars fan, and probably people are sick of me talking about Star Wars, but since I have included the Palpatine scene at the beginning of each of my convention rebuttals, it seems fitting to kind of come full circle. Does this not look like the Imperial Senate?
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
So it's quite fitting to end on that, really, isn't it? Because it's a similar story. In Star Wars, you have peace being brought about by dictatorship and death, and a device that can kill entire planets. And in the new system, in the paradise, in God's kingdom, you have this rulership that is responsible for the slaughter of billions in the name of bringing about peace.